Marketer of the Day, Episode 622, VO Success Formula. Create a voice-over income from freelancing.
Hey everybody, Robert Plank here, and we are back with the podcast where we are going to talk about how you can make money with your voice. We are going to talk about what the heck do you do if you're looking to pay the bills fast? What the heck do you do if something unexpected happens in your life? If you have that unexpected expense, if you get laid off on your job, if you just say, forget this job, I'm going to quit and burn my bridges. Oh, shoot. Now I need something to pay the bills in the next 30 days. And we used to not have a good answer for this, right? This is like the classic question when it comes to internet marketing, making money online. If you lost everything, if you lost your name recognition, your list, your products, your websites, everything, how would you get it all back? And the usual answer sucks, right? The usual answer is, well, I'd come up with a really good idea for an app. And that's great, but that might take months to get the ball rolling. Or you say, I'm going to create a book and it's going to be a bestseller. Well, that might take a while to get up and running and off the ground. And then people say, well, you know what? You should make a website and you should make a funnel and you should make a free opt-in page with a gift. And then they get sent to an information product. And I've done that again and again. And that's how I got my start. Is I would come up with an idea to teach something like how to create a sales letter, how to create a plugin, how to make a website. And I would come up with the idea and I would record some quick videos. I would make some tutorials. I might even buy this thing called resale rights and package it all into a really great offer where someone could say, well, you know, you want to make a sales page and here are some sales page templates. Here are some headlines. Here's some copywriting training. Here are some graphics to put on your website, a whole package. But the problem with that is that if you don't have a list, that might be kind of slow going. And luckily, over a few months, when I was super young, early 20s, I got things to the point where if I had an idea like this, I would spend a day or two at the most creating this offer, this package. Then I would put it up on a download area. I would create a website. I would create a payment button. I would send an email to my list. I would post an offer on a message board. And then I would get ready to go to the gym. And then I'd let that crank. And after I changed my clothes, I'd go and look and see how the sales were doing. And usually it was at about $1,000. And then I'd go hit the gym and come back later that night and, you know, shower or take a bath or kind of decompress. And I'd look at the sales again. And then I've made about another $1,000. But then the sales would sort of peter out. Like the next morning, maybe there'd be a few $100 more, but that was about it. And I was happy doing that. It was a nice, repeatable process that I was able to do once I had a list. But what did I do before I had a list? Well, I freelanced. I would go to someone who needed a plugin created or needed a sales letter written, and I'd get paid money in exchange for doing that. But I didn't like doing that. I didn't like that freelancer lifestyle where it seems like you're spending more time scrambling for money and you're always negotiating with people with your rates. But then, you know, we're still looking for that path, that solution, that answer to how would you get your money back or how would you get your monthly income up if you were starting from zero. And a couple of years ago, Mr. Lance Tamashiro, my business partner, finally came up with the answer. And the answer is to make money with your voice. And if you just want to skip to the end of things, you can check out what our program is all about at vosuccessformula.com. And I'm always really just uncertain and nervous about telling you specifically, I'm talking directly to you, but telling you specifically about making money with your voice because it has just so much stigma on all these different sides. Number one objection, number one stigma, people say, well, you're freelancing. And then number two stigma is when they find out where we tell you to get your orders, get your traffic. And the place where our VO Success Formula tells you to go is on a platform called Fiverr, Fiverr. Now, you might have heard of Fiverr. It's the place where you can get anything created, anything done for you for $5. If you want a website, $5. If you want someone to dance on camera in a hot dog costume, $5. If you want someone to call your boyfriend or girlfriend and break up with you? $5. Well, you know what? That's not really true in this day and age, okay? If you ever looked at Fiverr recently, you might have noticed that even though the site's called Fiverr, and even though you can get things done for $5, you're usually not going to pay for $5, or you're not going to get very much for $5 once there are these add-ons. And so I love Fiverr. I use Fiverr quite a bit for things like book covers, especially. And I use Fiverr for my podcast editor and things like that. And so Fiverr has some pretty good offers, some pretty hard-working people out there. And my attitude is always, whatever it is that you're doing to make money, I will never, ever look down on what it is that you're doing, because we all have bills to pay. And I respect what it is you're doing to make ends meet, even if you're having those lean times. Again, I'm talking directly to you. So whatever it is that you're doing, I applaud and I respect what it is that you're doing. Now, if what you're doing is something that you hate, is something that is not sustainable, or if you're claiming to make huge millions of dollars, but then I know secretly that you're only making a few $100s a month, that is a problem. But if you're looking to make just a little bit of extra money every month, pay off your house faster, maybe you need to scramble to pay those pesky taxes. Maybe you just want to keep the expenses light, and maybe you have a new startup or a business cranking and rolling, and you want to keep that money in the business. Whatever it is, if you're looking to make between a few $100s and a few $1,000s per month, then the place to look for is Fiverr and our course, VO Success Formula. Even my wife's on it. And so for years and years, much like you, I heard about this platform called Fiverr, and I ignored it. I looked down on it. I said, I'd never consider that. I'd never look at that. I mean, I'm a business owner. I have plugins, and I have monthly income when I have coaching clients, and I create software. I do lots of these different things. Why would I slum it on Fiverr? Until it turned out that my business partner, Lance Tamashiro, who created this course, reported $4,200 in a month. That was his best month. And he put in an hour a day in the morning. Just woke up, an hour a day of looking at orders, of recording scripts, of turning things in. And that was just his 1 hour. And then he'd get to, family time and get to the business that we have, but an extra $4,200 a month. Pretty cool. And even literally just this morning, my wife recorded a voiceover, and she spoke for, I believe, 10 minutes and 30 seconds and made $90 from that. So that's pretty cool, right? As a fun experiment, or as a way to get some extra pocket change, VO Success Formula and Fiverr. So let me tell you all about it, right? So here is what a typical day would look like for you as a student of our VO Success Formula course. You have an account on this platform called Fiverr, and you log into it once a day. You have the app on your phone, and you might have some people messaging you saying, hey, I have this written script for you to read. It might be a script for a YouTube video showing off an Amazon e-commerce product. It might be for a YouTube channel they have, and they just want to crank out content talking about things like movie reviews or fun facts. It might be a legit audio commercial. So we have a student who records commercials for Airbnb. And so you get these people sending them these scripts. And then you look at the Word document they send, and you might say, okay, well, that Word document, I see that that's a 600-word document, and I'll read that for $5 per 200 words. And so what does that come out to? $15 for you to read this 600-word script. That's about 4 minutes. So people speak at about 150 words a minute. I know I'm throwing out a lot of numbers here, but 150 words a minute, 600 words, $5 per 200 words. So you're making $15 for 4 minutes. I hope that math is right. If the math isn't right, then out there in podcast land, shoot me an email, robert@robertplank.com. So you might have some people messaging you saying, I've got this script. Maybe they say, can you do it today? And then you might reply and give them a button that says, I'll do it today, but for $25, not $15. And you say, I'll read this script based on this length. Here's the button. And then that person who's inquiring with you can choose to either not pay you and say, see you later, or they can choose to pay you. And then now an order has been placed. An order is now opened. And on Fiverr, you can see these list of orders that you have. You click in one and you'll see a countdown clock cranking away saying you have 23 hours and 59 minutes to deliver this. And then within that time, you open up your microphone, you take it out of the box or plug it in your computer or whatever. You click the record button and you just literally look at this written script and you speak it out. And you don't have to do any crazy voices or voice acting. Just narrate what it is that you see. You save it. You might kind of edit out the mistakes if you made any. You might trim the edges. You might run it through what's called noise cancellation, noise reduction, and then you click a button to upload and deliver it. And then that person that you just bought from can either say, great, I liked the recording that you sent me, this voiceover, and then they say, I will mark that order as complete. Or they might say, well, can you change this one word in there, or can you redo it? And depending on what you decide to do as a business owner, not as a full-time freelancer, but as a person who runs a business who happens to be on a freelancing site, you can choose to either say, yes, I'll re-record, I'll fix that one mistake, I'll redeliver, or you can say, yes, I will, but for an extra $5 or an extra $10. So that's one of those kind of decisions you can make. And let's say they say, I want this thing fixed, and you're a nice person and you fix it and you redeliver and they mark it as delivered. Now that money is held by Fiverr for 2 weeks. They take a little bit of a cut. They take 20%. And then after those 2 weeks have passed, then you can, that's in your account balance, and then you can choose to cash it out. And so that is the process. And the idea here is that you wake up in the morning and maybe you'll have some messages like that saying, hey, I have these scripts, can you read them? But you might also have a list of people who have already just directly ordered from you. So you might have lots of $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 orders, and then you just go through and crank those out and knock those out. So the reason why I explain this to you is because a lot of people, they look down on Fiverr because they can't see past $5, right? And they don't understand that mindset of, well, number one, you do what you got to do to make ends meet with your family, don't you? And number two, instead of psyching yourself out and saying, oh, but now I'm working for X number of dollars per hour, think of it as temporary. Think of it as what your income goal is, not even income per month, but are you looking to make an extra $500 total or $1,000 total? And then once you get to that point, then maybe make the decision of, did I do too much work to make $500? And if I did too much work, maybe I can put that aside and find some better income streams. And if I liked what I did, I can continue, maybe even raise my rates or add these things called gig extras. So somebody might come to you and they might say, I've got this script that I want you to read to show off my dog brush. And I have a video, but I want you to narrate it. Now, here's what you can say. You can say, all right, well, I usually deliver in MP3 format, but if you want the high quality WAV format, it's an extra $5. I usually deliver in 3 days from now, but if you want it today, it's an extra $5. These voiceovers, I normally record and deliver for fun, for personal use, but I see that this dog brush is an e-commerce item you're going to sell, and so for commercial use, I charge $10. So or maybe you can say, I'll add music, I'll add background music to your voiceover, and for that I charge $5. Or maybe you'll say, I'll give you 2 takes of this recording. I'll give you the first read through, and then maybe I'll give you like a funny read through or a booming voice read through. And so you can add in all these extra upsells, these extras. So what began as a $5 order might become a $50 or a $100 order. And also keep in mind, like we said, that you speak 150 words per minute. So you can decide how much 1 minute of your time is worth. And so the reason why my wife was able to make 90 minutes this morning, $90 in 10 and a half minutes, got to make sure I get those numbers right, $90 in 10.5 minutes, the reason why she was able to get that is because we charge $5 for 100 words of a read through, and that rounds up, right? So let's say if someone ordered for like a 90-word voiceover, it'd be $5. If someone paid for a 102-word voiceover, that goes over the 100-word limit, that would be $10. And we give free commercial use. We don't do revisions for free. So if they want something changed, it might be another $5 or $10 if it's something simple. But yeah, she had a $90 order, and then it took her about 10 minutes to record. There were one or two quick mistakes. It took me literally 30 seconds or less to take out the mistakes, save, convert, and deliver to this person. And they were super duper happy. And I should also say that we don't keep all those $90. So Fiverr takes 20%. So she really only gets $72 for those 10 minutes. But still, calculate the hourly rate on that. That's like $300 something per hour if she had the whole hour to record. And so that brings me to the other sort of mindset shift that if you're a voiceover person and you're interested in voiceover or whatever it is, to think about is, what the heck does it matter what your hourly rate is unless you're really looking to optimize that? And so what I mean by that is, well, let's say that whatever it is you're doing online, if you're not happy with putting in X amount of hours and getting X amount of dollars back, well, just think about, you're putting in your 1 hour in the morning to make this thing work. So instead of psyching yourself out and saying, oh, but I'm not really making a very good dollar rate per hour, just think, well, in the morning, before doing anything else that you have to do, whether that's online business, day job, whatever it is, what if in the morning you just said that 1 hour in the morning is my recording session? And maybe during that morning recording session, you only make $100 or $50 or $20. That can add up and pay quite a few bills as long as you stick with it and you do it. So there's the process for kind of the workflow of getting these voiceover orders, but there's a few other important things, and there's a lot of reasons why people either don't even attempt this or they fail. And so I guess I should say that the rainbow here, the light at the end of the tunnel, the end goal we're looking for are these magical people called repeat clients. How awesome would it be if that person that paid my wife $90, well, $72, and we have to wait 2 weeks from Fiverr to hang on to it. That's okay though. Let's say if every day, or even just a couple of times a week, this same person came back to Katie, my wife, and said, well, here's another 10-minute script for you, right? Here's another $72 after the fees and the waiting period are taken out. That would be a dream come true, to almost wake up to money. And sure, you have to put in a few minutes of this, but this is one of the easiest ways that there is of making money. It requires almost no skill. And this is, I guess this gets the voiceover establishment really mad, because I didn't even think about this until recently, but whenever you watch a commercial, let's say you're watching a commercial for like Huggies diapers or something, and there's someone speaking out that commercial, and it might be like a celebrity or someone else, but someone was hired to speak out the narration for that commercial. And I should even tell you that if you've ever been on YouTube and you've dialed up honest trailers, they're super funny. They'll give you like a fake trailer for a movie, like for like The Dark Knight Rises, and then they'll show you all like the mistakes or the commonalities or the ways that the movie was lazy or the ways it was like other movies. And it's a really kind of fun satire channel. And he does like the in a world voice. But this guy's on Fiverr. The honest trailers guy is on Fiverr. And so is like the guy that designed the Apple logo. And so is the rapper Wyclef Jean. Because I think Gary V is an investor in Fiverr, so he has a lot of these connections. But the honest trailers guy, he'll say anything you want, up to 100 or 200 words or something for $5 if it's for personal use. But if you are going to hire honest trailers guy for your business or your YouTube video or something like that, it's $1,000. So that's how he plays both sides. And that's what you should do too. By being on Fiverr, you can play both sides of having that high hourly rate most of the time, but also sometimes cutting your rate in order to get new business, in order to just get some of that trickle of the money flowing, and also to get those repeat clients. Because some of the people in our VO Success Formula class have built up a monthly income of thousands and thousands of dollars. One guy in particular I know makes $200,000 a year just from these silly Fiverr orders. He does green screen videos. He gets paid sometimes $20, $30, $50 for literally a 30-second video of him standing in front of a green screen. And so he cranks these things out. So some people out there in our class have quit their day jobs, have quit everything else besides Fiverr because it's just so lucrative for them, and because they don't overthink it, because they can really crank things out. And so like I was saying, there's a voiceover establishment, there's a union, there are people out there who do voiceover acting, right? They'll like act out a whole kid's book. They'll act out characters in a video game. And those are all things that I myself, Robert Plank, cannot do. I am not an actor. I'm no Barry Watson. I can't figure out the like acting skills, and I don't want to. I'm just a computer programmer. So there's different levels of voiceover skill, but just to get started as a narrator doesn't take all that much. You just use your regular voice, and you just buy some equipment. Now, I guess I'll talk about equipment really quickly, because another thing that holds voiceover people back is all the equipment. And I'm so purposefully ignorant about the equipment you need to record stuff. Right now, I'm recording using a Samsung microphone, not Samsung, but Samsung, like son of Sam. This is a Samsung C01U microphone that I'm recording this podcast on. And for years and years, I just used a really cheap $25 Logitech Clear Chat headset. It's this headset. I've got one on my desk right now, actually. I use it for listening, but I don't use it for recording anymore. But for years and years, if you tune into the earlier editions of this podcast at marketeroftheday.com, if you went to marketeroftheday.com/001, then you're going to hear a really just bad recording. I mean, I guess it's not that bad because you can still understand what's being said, but there's definitely been some improvement over the years, and I'd probably cringe if I went back and listened to marketeroftheday.com/001. But I used this headset because I wanted to keep things simple. And I mean, so many years ago, I bought this really cheapo USB microphone that just sat on the desk. Maybe you've seen this where it's like a little square and then a tube comes up and then you plug it in and you just speak in there. And it was just really bad quality. Upgraded to the headset because I figured, well, the microphone's right up close to your mouth, so that way it won't listen to all the other stuff around the room. And so that got me by. That got me by creating so many millions of dollars worth of online courses, of webinars, of this podcast, of YouTube videos, of chatting, things like that. That $25 headset helped me so much, got me to create so many things, because the production quality is not as important as your content quality, is it? But the problem with these cheapo headsets is that they break. And I noticed over the years that I'd have to buy a new cheapo $25 Logitech ClearChat headset literally every single year. So it'd break every year, spend a new $25. So it wasn't a $25 headset, it was a $25 per year headset. So, and I still keep buying them after they keep breaking, and this one might be breaking soon. I think they started to make them a little better, but they still break after a couple of years. But the problem is that it's not that great, right? It's like a really dinky microphone, because if you think about it, well, what's a headset? It's you have your headphones and you have a microphone that's right close up to your mouth, but it's a really dinky microphone because it doesn't have to pick up that much. It's not a really fancy microphone, and some of these microphones go up to like thousands of dollars. And so there's this Logitech Clear Chat. And then different people over the years said, "Oh, Robert, why don't you get better equipment?" And I say, "Okay, I will, but what should I get?" And they were like, "Oh, get this $100 Plantronics headset." And I was like, "Well, I don't like that because it doesn't have USB. Like, you have to plug it into an audio jack." And they said, "Oh, but it's okay. Get a mixing board and a preamp and all these special cables." And I was like, "No, that is going down the rabbit hole. I just want something simple." And so what I'm talking in right now is that Samsung microphone. And what I like about it is I think it was like $120. I've used it for a few years. The audio quality sounds a lot better, and it plugs in directly into the microphone or the USB jack. So I don't have to have all this extra equipment, but a lot of the legit voiceover people really make fun of me, but I don't care because I'm not fully into this voiceover stuff. It's just our way of proving that any amount of online income can be created from scratch using this business model. And so I have this Samsung microphone, and to make it even simpler for you, if you're in the market for a microphone, my personal recommendation is called a Blue Yeti. And I believe that's also in the $120 range. And I believe it also plugs right into your USB port. And so that way you don't have to worry about really anything. It just sounds good right off the bat. And with this Samsung microphone, I had to get the microphone. I had to get a mic stand. I think it came with it, but I might have had to get a replacement one. So there's like I don't know what you call it, like a cage kind of thing that the microphone sits in, and then a stand it screws into. So that way it just sits on the desk there. But some people have really advanced setups. Some people have like the arm that sort of vice grips onto your desk, and then you can just like pull it into you, because at the moment this microphone is just kind of sitting in front of me. Whenever I have to do something on the computer, I have to kind of reach around it. And then some people get crazy as far as the noise cancellation. So there's a little bit of noise in this room. I guess some seasoned audio professionals could probably hear things in my office, and there was a truck drove by a few minutes ago. Perfect timing. The wife's coming home, so the garage door's opening downstairs. So on a podcast, we don't really care that much if there are minor interruptions. But if there's a voiceover, then we might kind of pause or put a marker or things like that and redo that later. So microphone, Blue Yeti, and then for the recording, for years and years, I just used Camtasia. And in fact, Camtasia is what I'm using to record this podcast right now. The reason for that is because Camtasia records your system audio. So that means if I'm calling someone on Skype and interviewing them, then I want Camtasia to pick up the other end of the conversation coming through Skype in a different audio track. So we interviewed John Lee Dumas a few months ago. And so when I was talking, my recording was on one track and his was on the other track. So that way we could kind of equalize and edit and do all those fun things. But anyway, Blue Yeti microphone and then Audacity is a free program that will allow you to record and edit and save in any format and run the noise reduction and stuff like that for your Fiverr clients. So there's the issue of getting on Fiverr, of having your recording equipment, of figuring out your process, of figuring out how to work quickly, because let's be honest, looking at a document and reading some words off it is going to be kind of awkward at first, right? And maybe you might stumble, or it might take you like 2 or 3 or 4 tries to get through something, and you might be thinking, I've been at this one page of text for 10 minutes. I'm really only getting paid $5 for this? Well, yes, at first. As you get better and as it becomes less awkward and as you get quicker with your process, then your hourly rate that you were psyching yourself about earlier now has begun to increase because you're getting paid the same, but you're working faster, right? You're getting off the computer sooner. And then there's a little bit of an issue on Fiverr. You have what's called a gig that's listed, where you say what you'll do, and you say, I'll record voiceovers for whiteboard videos, for commercials, for YouTube channels, all those sorts of things. I'll deliver in X number of days for X number of rate. You just list the terms of this voiceover service that you provide. And then there's also that messaging aspect I told you about, where some people, so basically people all over the world go on Fiverr, they search the word voiceover, looking for someone to be the voice of their video sales letter, or of their commercial, or of their whiteboard video, or whatever it is, and you show up somewhere in the rankings. Just like how you might have in the past have been reluctant to list an e-commerce product on Amazon, thinking, but Amazon is so high maintenance and there are fees and all that stuff. Yeah, but you're listed on Amazon. You're in this huge high traffic marketplace with tons and tons of buyers, just like eBay or Craigslist. So Fiverr I guess the healthy way to look at Fiverr is that it's like an Amazon, it's like an eBay, it's like a Craigslist. It's a place where people are looking to buy from someone, to buy from you, and they're ready to do it right now. And they probably bought over and over again. And if you can become one of those people that these buyers are buying from over and over again, if you can have your 20 repeat clients you wake up to and you see all these orders coming in and you get paid what it is that you want, and if not, maybe you can raise your rates at some point. Maybe you can use that money to buy better equipment, or maybe you'll now have an advertising budget for your business, or I mean, maybe you'll just put your deadbeat son or deadbeat brother-in-law to work. Just have them go on Fiverr, give them a Blue Yeti microphone, have them learn Audacity to edit, and definitely have them join our VO Success Formula program, so that way they can see the ins and outs of Fiverr, because there are a lot of things that you need to be careful about in order to not get banned from Fiverr. Maybe you've heard about some of those stories, and I'll see those stories and it'll be super long, and they'll be like, I don't know why I was banned, and I'll look at what it is they did. I'm like, I know why. I know where you messed up. So if you're more careful, you can do things to avoid that. There are things you need to know about marketing yourself on Fiverr, about having these upsells, about finding new customers, about a little bit of haggling, because some Fiverr buyers love to negotiate, and they'll negotiate you down to, $5 for hours and hours of work if they could. So sometimes you have to develop a quick skin, because some of these buyers or prospective buyers, they can be pretty rude or pretty pushy, or at least maybe you think they're being rude, but it's just a little bit of a cultural barrier. And so what we want you to do is, if you're hurting for money or looking for money, or just looking to make the money come in faster, or just maybe you're just looking to put an hour of your day to good use. I mean, how good of a day would you have if you set the table of that day, if you set the tone of that day of you just spending an hour talking and maybe talking about stuff that you love, and then just goofing off and getting paid for that. That is the dream, and that is the dream we want to show you over at vosuccessformula.com. So look into it, providing voiceovers on Fiverr. What a goofy thing. How the heck does anyone make money from that? Well, you'll find out for yourself over at vosuccessformula.com, and we'll see you there, and bye now. This is Robert Plank, and would you like to be a guest on the program? Do you have an idea for a future episode, or do you just want to tell us how we're doing? Get in touch with us right now at marketeroftheday.com/ask to let us know.